to strengthen women participation 1 year ahead of 1325, the 20th anniversary. And today was, as I said, our signature event. We wanted to concentrate on strengthening of women and fighting sexual violence in conflict. So for us, the adoption of Resolution 2467 is a milestone. We wanted to do something for the survivors. We have witnessed what is happening and what has happened in Myanmar, in South Sudan, in the DRC, or even going back 20 years in the Balkans, and we tried to hear with also the witnesses, with Nadia Murad from Iraq, with Dr. Mukwege from the Congo, from Amal Clooney, who is working on accountability. We tried to bring reality into the Security Council, and we wanted to adopt this resolution. And we are very happy to have this resolution adopted. It was not easy. As Dr. Mukwege said, in these kind of things, you make 10 steps ahead and 1 step back. And we think we have made considerable progress today. You know the resolution. We have now a concentration on accountability. We have a survivor-centered approach. We are putting sanctions much more in the center of actions. We have the UN system watching it, reporting it. We have, for the first time in the resolution, also looked at boys, girls, children, the victims of rape, children born of rape, and that what is happening to them. So overall, we are very happy with the resolution. As in these cases, and you have followed it, we didn't achieve everything, but we did achieve a lot, and we are very happy for the reaction of the briefers, who afterwards said that this is, as I said, a milestone. Ladies first, okay?
Thanks, Ambassador. As you said, you didn't get everything, and the resolution doesn't include the language on offering sexual and reproductive health care to victims of sexual violence and conflict. What would you say to women around the world who are a little disheartened by that?
Yes. This is, of course, key, and we wanted to have sexual and reproductive health care in the resolution to strengthen this. It was very clear that this was not possible to achieve, that for one delegation this was no-go. So what we achieved is that we, with the resolution, reaffirm the existing resolution 2106, and this is in the first sentence of the resolution that we reconfirm 2106, and otherwise we do not mention the topic to make sure that international law remains in place, that what has already been adopted with regard to sexual and reproductive health care remains valid. 2106 remains valid. This is expressively stated in the resolution.
Ambassador, you say that agreed language has been in place for quite a long time.
Yes.
We're coming up to the 25th anniversary of Beijing.
Yes.
It's clear that one delegation, the United States, you didn't name them, but I will, is pushing on this. They're pushing on the third committee, they're pushing now in the Security Council, they're pushing at the CSW. They're going to continue to push on this under this administration. Are you prepared to continue to fight so that women's rights do not backslide?
Absolutely, we'll push back, and the question is, because there is one government that doesn't want anything on this topic, do you stop all your activities? You just wait for better weather, or do you try to push forward on other issues? And we asked Dr. Mukwege, we asked Nadia Murad, we asked Amal Clooney, should we give in because sexual reproductive right is something very key, or should we push ahead on accountability, on concentrating on sanctions, on having other issues, civil society involved? And they clearly said, no, go push ahead. So that's what we did.
Ambassador, you talked about the fact that in the first sentence in the resolution that was adopted, that it refers to Resolution 2106. Could you explain what is the importance and the significance of this, given the fact that the other detailed language was taken away? Thank you.
Yes, you have to look at it from a legal point of view. If we had now on sexual reproductive rights weaker language than before, then this language would have been and could be used as an example for other resolutions. So we chose not to have anything on this and just have a reaffirmation of 2106. So this means 2106 is reaffirmed with this resolution and stands. And we have not, by introducing weaker language, made the issue. So it was, for us, not the ideal solution. As you can imagine, we would have liked to have strong language and repeated and strengthened that language, but this was not possible. So the choice was, do we give up everything for not reaching this? And our choice was the one that civil society asked us, that the victims asked us to do. Yes.
Please allow me in German one answer. Kann ich fragen noch einmal, die Resolution scheint etwas verwässert zu sein durch eben diese Punkte, die leider nicht durchgesetzt werden konnten. Können Sie die nennen und auch noch mal auf die Monitoring Group eingehen? Ich hatte verstanden, dass es eigentlich eine neue Gruppe geben sollte. Dazu ist es auch nicht gekommen. Bitte noch einmal für...
Wie Dr. Mukwege, der Nobelpreisträger, gesagt hat, mit dieser Resolution, wie oft im Leben, gehen wir 10 Schritte voran und 1 Schritt zurück. Für Dr. Mukwege war ganz, ganz wichtig der zentrale Aspekt dieser Resolution, nämlich, dass man sich auf die Überlebenden von sexueller Gewalt konzentriert, dass man ihnen Hilfe gibt, dass man ihnen auf der einen Seite gesundheitliche Hilfe, dann finanziell für Reintegration, die psychosoziale Seite, Integration zurück in die Gesellschaft, das ist alles in dieser. Wir haben in der Tat einiges mehr gewollt und man muss in diese Resolutionsverhandlungen ja auch immer mit einem hohen Anspruch geben. Und wie bei allen Verhandlungen muss man Abstriche machen. Und die Arbeitsgruppe, wir wollten eine besondere Arbeitsgruppe, die sich nur kümmert um sexuelle Gewalt, die wollten wir einrichten. Da sind wir gescheitert an mehreren Staaten, die das nicht wollten. Wir haben das aber nicht aufgegeben, das Ziel, sondern wir haben diese Arbeit in eine bestehende Arbeitsgruppe von Experten noch zusätzlich hineingegeben, sodass die Arbeit, die wir wollen, erfolgt, nur nicht in einer separaten Arbeitsgruppe. Vielleicht schaffen wir das zu einem späteren Moment, aber wissen Sie, Sie müssen bei Verhandlungen Schritt für Schritt vorangehen und das haben wir hier gemacht.
Ambassador, in your words, how is the accountability mechanism any stronger, or how is it stronger than the past?
As Amal Clooney explained in her intervention, accountability is key, and she is working on accountability, and she has also made a number of references where in national legislations, among that in Germany, actually there is now a concrete prosecution of perpetrators. And what is done, for instance, in Germany is now in the resolution that member states judiciaries are not only invited, they are asked to look at these crimes and actually prosecute these crimes. When you look at many of what happened in some of the countries, I don't want to name them, but in this there is hardly anybody, if anybody, until today has been prosecuted and has been actually sentenced for rape. And this is now a concrete demand to all member states nationally to persecute the perpetrators of sexual violence.
And you consider the language of this resolution to be mandatory, not permissive?
It is mandatory insofar as it asks all countries to prosecute that. Of course, you cannot put a country that doesn't do this intensely in front of a court, but you can ask him and you can ask to report about this, you can put it on the agenda. So the pressure not to let go and not to allow the perpetrators of sexual violence to live in freedom from now onwards with this resolution, member states have to implement it. Those perpetrators can no longer sleep well. They will always look over their shoulder and see one day they will be caught. And I think what is happening now in German courts where individuals are being persecuted, this sends a strong message, and we have to get more of these messages. Yes.
Thank you. On accountability, Are there any examples besides Amal Clooney? Machen andere Leute, andere Länder auch das?
I'm not an expert on this. Of course, this is on the agenda, and this is asked many countries to do. I'm following my own country, and there we have cases of sexual violence. We have also cases from Syrian officials who committed war crimes also to stand trial, and we'll in Germany will continue to work on this. I cannot speak for other countries, but I think this will serve as an example, and I'm optimistic that the more we raise it, the more this issue is on the agenda, the more actually then cases will come to courts. Okay?
Thank you, Mr. Ambassador. Two follow-up questions. The briefers, specifically Amal Clooney, Nadia Moran, and Dennis Mukwege, were specifically asking for the Security Council to take action to establish some kind of a tribunal to prosecute perpetrators of sexual violence. What specifically in this resolution addresses that demand? And also, I know that the aim of the resolution, one key aim, was to help survivors, but without including a reference to sexual and reproductive health, what actually is the resolution going to do to help these victims?
Yes. On the first issue, this is Amal Clooney mentioned that with regard to the persecution, in particular of ISIS fighters who are now in Iraq or in the region captured. This is a specific case, just as Rwanda or Yugoslavia were specific cases, and this is for member states to decide how they continue. I think what she has offered is interesting to prosecute it actually in the region. The resolution is more general about this. It says in general that there has to be more persecution. With regard to I would ask you also to ask Dr. Mukwege, because it was his idea, and we put it into the resolution, the survivor-centered approach. With regard to a survivor, it is not, as Dr. Mukwege says, the 5 minutes, 10 minutes, half an hour that they are in hospital. What is for survivors important? For survivors, it's important that afterwards they get financial support, that they get support in society, that they are reinserted into society, they are no longer outcast, and all of that is in the resolution. This is why Dr. Mukwege said we make 10 steps ahead and 1 step back. Okay? Thank you.